I have no idea why.
Okay. I guess we'll do that tomorrow then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have no idea why.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Let us start.
Bring my timing cards in case Lynn isn't here.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whatever time zone you happen to be in, welcome to Leaders Worldwide Online Toastmasters Club. Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leaders Worldwide is designed for politicians, business leaders, nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, as well as anyone who wants to make their message heartfelt and authentic. Core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We are Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters, where leaders are made.
And let's introduce our charter president, Cynthia Stott.
Great, great, great. I'm so excited to be here. We have our members and we have our guest, Mohini from India. Would you like to introduce yourself? We're on YouTube. You're being broadcast to YouTube all around the world.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I'm Toastmaster Mohini from India, Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. I've been a Toastmaster for the past 4 years. And I'm glad to be here today, early morning. Looking forward to the meeting.
And this is your first time at Leaders Worldwide?
Beg your
Have you
pardon.
our club before?
Beg your pardon, I couldn't hear you.
Have you visited our club before? Have you visited our club before, or is this your first time?
Namita has sent me the
Namita, yes, I know Namita.
belongs to your club, right? Yeah, so I got the message, I think, from her. So maybe the first time or the second time, not very sure.
Okay, I've spoken at her club before, so I might have spoken at your club. I don't know. I've spoken all around the world. Great. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm gonna introduce our Toastmaster, who's going to introduce our meeting theme for today, and then our role takers. And that would be Miss DeMarie Shy King. Take it away.
So good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am DeMarie Shy King, and our theme for today is the global village of mankind. The global village of mankind. When we think about global and mankind, we're thinking of people the world over. And that is where I want you to focus tonight, this morning, today. People the world over. But I want you to think more about humanity and mankind, because that is who we are. That is who we are. We are all so much more alike than we are different. And until we stop and think about that, we just tend to drift off into another direction. But we have a wonderful program planned for you tonight, and I won't delay and digress, but I will start by introducing our grammarian for the evening so that she can give us the word of the day, and we can begin to use that word. And our grammarian is Sally Reyes. Good evening, Sally. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. It's a kind of exciting day with all the crashing overhead. Thank you. Our word of the day is inclusive. I love that word. And it does mean to include everyone. And that is mankind. we better celebrate it and keep us all alive. So I will be listening for your ums and ahs and buts and pauses, and writing down any interesting words you may have added to the descriptions of your stories, and enjoy it very much. Thank you. It's lovely to be here. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sally.
Uh-huh.
Word of the day is inclusive. Next, we will have our first speaker. And let me explain the timing for our prepared speeches. Both speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. And our timer will show green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes, at which time the speakers will have 30 seconds to wind up their presentation. I'm excited as we enter into this phase of our meeting process. And our first speaker is Carrie Kelly. And since I am Carrie's evaluator, I will read her introduction and the information to introduce her speech. Carrie is speaking from Pathways Visionary Communications, Level 3, Connect with Your Audience. Carrie is an author and a child abuse prevention advocate. And that's all that she had written. But let me just tell you that she's being modest. She's also an area director, where she's in charge of 5 clubs. And she, along with I, both as area directors, are wrapped up in this season planning our area contest. Nobody ever told me that we would have to do this to be an area director. But we're getting our feet wet and we're diving in with both hands and just getting the job done. Carrie is a delight to work with. The title of her speech, Carrie Kelly, Martin Who? Martin Who? Carrie Kelly. The mic is yours.
Thank you. In 1963, Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference went to Birmingham, Alabama, in order to lead nonviolent direct actions, such as sit-ins, marches, boycotts, and other disruptive protests. In order for people to do these things, they have to go through some very extensive training. This training consisted of you being asked, and being able to say yes to if you are able to withstand blows without retaliation, and can you stand the endeavors and ordeals of going to jail. These people who went to Birmingham, Alabama at the time had to go through this over and over and over again in order for them to be ready to go to Birmingham, Alabama to fight for civil rights that they have been fighting for years. During 1963, this protest and nonviolent direct actions, Martin Luther King got arrested. On April 16th, 1963, he wrote a letter from his jail cell to his fellow clergymen they complained about these direct actions. They said that these direct actions were unwise, untimely, and extreme. If you could read the entire letter and then a few months later listen to the I Have a Dream speech, the entire I Have a Dream speech, you will find parts of both of these speeches overlap. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed Martin Luther King Day into law. However, as much as he wanted to sign this into law for the sake of being reelected, he made sure that he let his political allies know that he was going to make sure that America had a selective image of Martin Luther King. I believe that he succeeded in giving America a selective image. I, for one, have never heard the entire I Have a Dream speech until I went and looked for it deliberately. I had never even read the letter from Birmingham jail until I went looking for it deliberately. There is a reason that you only hear the last 5 minutes of the I Have a Dream speech. There is a reason that you don't hear these speeches or hear more about his work and what he stood for during mainstream TV or in major articles and newspapers and things that are meant to celebrate Martin Luther King's legacy and celebrate his birthday. I, for one, am no longer able to participate or tolerate this kind of lip service to a legacy that was so hard fought. Today, my grandchildren may not even be able to learn about the selective image that Ronald Reagan gave us, because there are people now that are using Martin Luther King's words to justify removing books that talk about the civil rights movement, as well as highlighting the people who led this movement. And to add insult to injury and rub salt in the wound, there are actual criminals that will use his words or try to compare themselves to him. A man in 2015 serving time for campaign finance fraud sent out a series of tweets comparing himself to Martin Luther King as fellow lawbreakers and jailbirds. I am no longer able to celebrate this day without taking a long, hard look at what it actually looked like for the 1963 struggle of Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in Birmingham, Alabama at the time. Birmingham, Alabama was not a friendly place for African American people at the time. Birmingham was notorious for unjust treatment in the courts, brutal police treatment, more unsolved bombings of Black households and Black churches at that time. And the whole country knew about this. So when Martin Luther King went to Birmingham, Alabama, he had to know that he was going to be dealing with some ugly power structures. And he went there prepared to do that. Today, I have to admit that I am not prepared to do any of that, but I will not stay silent while people will take his most famous quotes and post them on their social media while I press the like button and the heart button while sitting at home, not participating in what is needed to still handle what is needed to finish the work that Martin Luther King started. I will encourage you to listen to the entire speech of I Have a Dream and read the entire letter from the Birmingham jail, and share it with as many people as you possibly can so that the selective image that Ronald Reagan meant for us to have can be dispelled. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that riveting speech, Carrie. Thank you so much. So, Madam Timer, can we have 1 minute on the clock so that people can send comments to Carrie and the evaluator can prepare her evaluation? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Timer. Before I introduce or refer to the next speaker, I want to add just a caveat to today's program and remind our audience that this is what is known as Black History Month. Black History Month started out in 1926 as Black History Week, and Carter G. Woodson, who was the second Black man to graduate from Harvard with a PhD, was the founder of Negro History Month, week, I'm sorry, is what they called it. But in 1976, 50 years later, it was decided that Negro History Week would become Negro History Month, and they changed it from Negro to Black History Month. My contention is, and the word inclusive, which is the word of the day, is perfect because Black history is this country's history. It's everybody's history. So it's included in the fabric of our nation. And that is what I wanted to say at this moment. I want you to think about that. What does it mean when you hear the word inclusive? And now, our next speaker, I will have that person introduced by our grammarian, Cassandra Garabedian.
One moment, please. Get to you. Let's get to you. Hold on. Dee Marie, I'm sorry. I wasn't ready.
That's okay.
See here, and let's get back to what Cynthia sent. Hold on.
Do you have the speech details? I have them here if you
I
would
have
like.
it here. Just let me
Okay,
get to
great.
it. Let me just get to it. Let me get to it. Minute. Okay, Dee Marie Shy King. Here we go. Dee Marie is speaking from Pathways Dynamic Leadership, Level 3, Connect with Your Storytelling, which is a 5 to 7 minute speech. Title of her speech is Equity and Inclusion. Let me tell you a little bit about Dee Marie. Dee Marie Shy King is an area director in D3 area speech contest is scheduled for February 26, 2024. She is a two-time Triple Crown winner for 2022 to 2023. She is a published author and a mental health and legislative lobbyist for mental health. Her platform is her advocacy for the survivors of domestic violence. Let's give a round of applause for DeMarie Shai King. The title of her speech, once again, Equity and Inclusion. DeMarie Shai King,
Hold
Equity
up.
and
Hold up. Can you stop that cab? It just passed me by, and I'm trying to catch a cab. But you know how hard that is if you're standing on a corner in New York. Hailing down a cab is almost impossible. It may make you feel left out. It may make you feel abandoned. But this morning I have to get to work, so I want to feel included. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Sometimes, as we go through our daily walk in life, we almost feel like screaming, hold up, here I am. I want to be a part of that. But then that would not be the civilized, correct thing to do. However, there are situations and times that cause us to feel that we are being left out. And what is the opposite of inclusion? Exclusion. We feel that we're being excluded. Now, let me just tell you, there are things that can be done when you have feelings that don't resonate in a sense and in a way that you would want them to. The first thing I want to share with you, there is a number, and it's 988. That is the mental health crisis or suicide crisis hotline. If you are in a situation of anxiety or depression and you feel you just need to talk to somebody, that's a number that you can dial. But don't let equity and inclusion get us to that point. Equity and inclusion has taken on an acronym of DEI, and that is in the corporate world. And it's called diversity, equity, and inclusion. Scientific research has shown that in the workplace, the more people of varied backgrounds and varied nationalities that you have at the table, the better outcome for all of those concerned. Your marketing, your sales techniques, the way you approach the potential customer, all takes on a different posture with different people at the table. DEI, diversity and inclusion. Because what is going on in corporate America? They simply want to make a profit. They want to make that profit by being able to sell their wares to their clients or customers using the best possible means of connection. And everyone wants to connect. Everyone wants to feel a part of or included in. But if you find yourself drifting back to a situation where you feel excluded, you don't feel that you're a part of things, don't let that push you off into something called a depressive state. I gave you the number of 988, but my research tells me that you should also practice self-love. And that is learning to love yourself. There are ways that you can do that. One of those is to do meditation. Find a period in the day where you can sit quietly and take deep breaths with your eyes closed and allow your mind to just clear itself of all of the outside pressures so that you are in a state of calm. That will help you to center yourself, focus on your individuality. And then the other recommendation is to know yourself. Know who you are. There are things that trigger all of us. You need to know what those triggers are for you. And once you know that, then you can avoid those triggers. You can go out and do things that are going to give you the kind of energy and fulfillment that you desire. A walk in the park, to watch nature. There's nothing more relaxing than watching squirrels run up and down trees, or to watch the kids on the playground as they push each other on the merry-go-round. Connect with nature. Allow yourself to be and to feel carefree, and reduce the amount of stress that builds when you focus on anything that is negative for too long a period of time. The other suggestion is to repeat positive affirmations and let them start with I am. I am. And when you say I am, you're possessing whatever it is that comes after I am. And that's where the positivity comes in. I am the person that I want to be. I am a successful Toastmasters speaker. I am. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you start out with the affirmations of I am and simply follow it up with something positive. The other thing that is suggested is that you get exercise. Walking in the park is one way, but also starting out with small weight bearing is a way to increase muscle strength. It increases bone mass. It's all of those things that's going to help you become a stronger, more resilient individual. And when you find your resiliency in one form in your life, it carries over into other areas of your life. And when you do the things that I have outlined, your self-esteem and your self-confidence begin to soar. And I promise you, when you renew your self-esteem and your self-confidence, equity and inclusion become yours. Because I have to refer back to the core values of Toastmasters: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Because when you accomplish the first three, the fourth is an automatic result of all of those. When you learn to respect yourself, when you treat others with respect, and when you exhibit integrity, it's that old saying, what you give off is going to come back to you. So equity and inclusion begins with you. Equity means to have a stake in or possess that which you know is yours. My suggestion to you, if I were to give you one tonight, learn to know and love yourself. I'll repeat that. Learn to know and love yourself. Because when you do that, you're going to claim the stake that you feel is yours. And when you possess the equity, you will find a way to make sure that there is inclusion. But let's get back to the village that is the global mankind. All of us, we're in this together. We are in this together. So equity and inclusion is an automatic part that we must respect and become a part of. Back to you, Madam Timer.
Let's give a minute for the evaluator, please.
Okay, 1 minute.
Back to you, Toastmaster 2. Meanwhile, you guys can put some notes in there if you like for T. Marie into the chat.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer. Our 1 minute is up. I mentioned in my speech about feeling left out or excluded. Those are negative feelings. They leave us down, trodden, sad, and somewhat depressed. But there are ways to rebound from that. And I want to repeat again the number 988, because that is the crisis hotline, the mental health hotline. If you have any ideas or ideations of harming yourself, that's a number that you can call. There is something called social isolation, where you feel that you have been left out, but you have to make the effort yourself to reach out, talk to your friends, make new friends, get out in the marketplace and meet new people. Because in order to be included, you have to become a part of, and part of that lies within your purview. It behooves you to make the effort to be the very best that you can be. And I'm here tonight to tell you that Toastmasters is one way that you can do just that. The networking and the bonding that goes on in Toastmasters is second to none. I will now explain the timing for our table topics. But before I do that, let me ascertain who is going to do the table topic session.
Is Rosemary
I
here?
can do it. Rosemary's, I don't think so.
No.
I can do it, or Cassandra can do it.
Don't
That's
see
fine.
her on the,
Yeah,
Or I
Rosemary's
could do
not
it.
here.
I haven't done anything tonight.
Who's that? Who's speaking?
Lisa,
Lisa.
if you
Lisa,
would
would you
me
like to
If
do
you
it?
don't want me to, that's also fine.
Lisa, that's fine. You can do the table topics.
I appreciate you letting me do this. Thank you so much.
okay, so if you hold on for just a moment, Lisa, let me go to our timer, and the timer will explain the timing series or process to our potential participants, and she will show the cards as I explain the timing. So table topics are questions that will be asked randomly. It's called our impromptu speaking session, and you have 1 to 2 minutes to complete your response. At 1 minute, you will see the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, you will see the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, you will see the red card. When you see the red card, you have 30 seconds to wind up your response, or you will have gone over time and your response will not count. Thank you for that, Cynthia. And we are appreciative of one of our members, Lisa Thompson, who is going to handle our table topic session. Lisa, I guess we can do 3 or 4 questions. And the
Great.
floor is,
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
I said thank you so much.
Yes, and
Well, I
our,
just want to mention that how much I've loved Dee Marie's clubhouse room on Thursday mornings, typically from 8:30 to whenever we finish, 10 or so. And she's absolutely amazing in running a room that everyone loves. And I've learned so much from Dee Marie in her room that it's been an absolute pleasure. So
so
I'm
let me
hoping
just
that
say this, Lisa.
excuse me?
The theme for today's meeting, and you may want to stick with the theme with your questions, is the global village of mankind.
Okay, well, since I didn't know that, I made a love wheel. And I'm
Okay,
hoping
that
that's
sounds
okay.
fine.
So I need to be able to share my screen. I made it for Valentine's Day, and the month of February for me is a Valentine's Day.
You should be
And-
able to, you should be able to share your screen.
Thank you.
And our word of the day is inclusion. So a love will would be fantastic for inclusion.
And it could also work with the global mankind, global village of,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
So we can all love our global village of mankind. That'd be fabulous.
Yeah.
So, okay, who would like to go first?
And we have some Toastmasters guest. Mohini is a Toastmaster, and also Ravindra is
Can I
a
ask you to
Toastmaster.
call on people, Cynthia, and I'll spin the wheel and ask them?
Sure, sure.
Thank you so much.
Mohini, would you like to answer a question?
Yes, I'd like to try.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel for Mohini. And the question is, keeping in mind the global what?
Village of mankind.
The global village of mankind, right? We should write this down. What role do trust and communication play in a loving relationship in the global village of mankind? What role do trust and communication play in a loving relationship in the global village of mankind?
Love and communication play a very, very important role in the global village of mankind. We can start from our own homes. We start from a very circle. Everything starts from the dot, and then it moves in circles outside, 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 coming up to the global village of mankind. So when we start learning to trust each other, and the communication is very honest, ethical, and from the heart, we learn to live a very decent life with our Toastmasters words of excellence, respect, and integrity. So when we imbibe this as children and we impart the same values to our children, I think that is a perfect example of how it will naturally grow wide into the global community. Everything starts from home. Like someone said, kindness is the word that the deaf can hear, the dumb can speak, and the blind can see. So what can be more universally accepted? Something other than kindness, integrity, and love and trust. If we don't trust anyone, we have to live on trust. We cannot keep suspecting people or anything for that matter. We have to live based on trust. We have to trust someone to a certain extent. And then we take it from there. Every path has a fork in it. Every road has a fork in it. So we cannot resist from going onto that road, being scared of the forks on the road. We have to move ahead. And when you are authentic, and then when there is kindness and respect and integrity in the heart, everything will reach out to be beautiful at the global level, because we all become inclusive at that point, because there is no hatred, there is no gender bias, there is no bias in any way. We are all humans born on this earth to live together, to love together. Like they say, the trees communicate with each other based on the huge network of roots underground. Like that, I think mankind, we are all kin, we are all akin, we are all humans. So I think whether we try it or not, it is already there. We all knit together and bond together because basically we are humans.
Thank you so much for your wonderful answer, Mohini. I think you spoke for about 4 minutes. We
Exactly.
appreciate
I'm
your
sorry
answer. You might
exceeded
want to
the
think
time.
about doing a speech based on this question, because it seemed like you had a lot more to share. So thank
I'm
you
sorry
so
I
much,
exceeded
Mohini. We
the
really appreciate you.
sorry I
Okay,
exceeded the
who would
time.
like to go next?
I can go, Demery.
Ravindra, did you want to turn?
Yeah, yes, I can go, Lisa. Sorry.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's such a nice honor to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to get that question out of there, and I'm going to spin the wheel for you, Ravindra.
Sure, Lisa.
Thank you so much. So can love exist without mutual understanding and respect in the global village of mankind? Can love exist without mutual understanding and respect in the global village of mankind? Ravindra.
Thank you, Lisa, for that wonderful topic. So, love exists without mutual understanding and respect. So, definitely not, because mutual understanding is one of the key aspects for the love. And because if we do not have the understanding between two mankind's, then it's not possible, because we may think like we may an assumption like, okay, we love each other, but the thing is, when they don't have the mutual understanding and respect towards each other, then it will be definitely not possible, because respect not only for the specific persons or the human beings, but giving respect to all the humankind, as well as the all the exist things in world, because you need to give respect to the animals, you need to give respect to the plants. So all these things, because you need to give the respect, because uh, as you are existing in this world, so all those animals, pets, everything will be exist in this world. So respecting others, as and also the kindness, so as Mohini mentioned, so which is going to give us love, and also the mutual understanding between two people. Because assume like uh, I and my I'm married, so if I don't have the mutual understanding with me and my wife, so myself and my wife, so obviously the love will not be able to exist anymore, because we can't take care our son properly. And also the families between both of us families will not be able to uh, have that love or showcase that love properly. So it is very important that mutual understanding and respecting each other for the mankind of global village. Thank you. Over to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Ravindra. Excellent answer. We really appreciate it. Okay, so for the next one, we'll eliminate that and we'll move on to who else would like to answer a question. Dr. Nadine, would you like a question tonight?
Oh, Lisa.
Cynthia, would you like a question?
Is Dr. Nadine there? I saw her unmute.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did unmute. I'm just listening if you don't mind. I am, yeah, I'd prefer
You don't
to.
have to come onto camera to answer the question if you don't want to.
No, I just want to listen tonight.
Okay, how about Sally?
Okay, great.
Sally, would you like one?
Yeah, let's have Sally. Can you unmute, Sally? I think you're unmuted. Go ahead and talk.
Hello?
Yes. we
Hello,
can.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Are you talking to me?
Yes. So I'm going to spin the wheel for you. And the question is, how would you define love in your own words in the global village of mankind? How would you define love in your own words in the global village of mankind, Sally?
Thank you. In order to define love is to put oneself in the other's shoes. And having traveled in many cultures and many countries, it's amazing how wonderful and reflective the cultures are in celebrating themselves and pulling people in to understand their cultures. I have enjoyed it so much that I look for it on my own street, and the differences that people are celebrating and bringing to others to share with them, as was just mentioned about including animals and plants, and those are my two expertise. I absolutely think of them as real individuals that bring me joy, that I want to reflect their enlightenment and fix them if they're having trouble. So I'm just always drawn to feeling how those plants, how those animals feel about their environment and how they're treated. So it's a world thing. It can't even be just defined in humanity, because the reality is we are so interdependent and have to care for all of these things in a conscious way. And that's what I try to do. I love it. Thank you so much.
So as an environmental advocate, I definitely appreciated your answer, Sally. Thank you so much. Do we have time for one more, Madam Toastmaster?
Yes, just one more.
Okay, perfect. So can, DeMarie, did you want to answer a question?
Is there someone else who might want to answer a question?
You could ascertain that I tried. It's up to you.
I will answer the question if no one else wants to.
How
So-
about me? I can do it.
Thank you, Carrie.
So Carrie, you'd like to answer a question?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to eliminate the answer, the question that we're on, and I will spin the wheel for you. Okay, Carrie. Have your perceptions of love evolved over time in the global village of mankind? And if so, how? Have your perceptions of love evolved over time in the global village of mankind? And if so, how?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And it's a little more closer to home than the whole global village, but I never thought that I would enjoy having children around me 24/7. All the way up until 8 years ago, when my grandchildren and their parents moved in with us, I was the one giving parents and grown people lectures about why the children are not behaving in certain ways and what's wrong with you. You must have wrong parenting ideas and all these things about how children are supposed to be raised, when I didn't have any children, and I didn't think that I could have that mother instinct, that mother. There's this I don't know, protective value that you have toward children. And once my grandchildren got here, when they got here, there were 3 girls, 8, 4, and 6 weeks old. I have a 4th grandchild now. He's 2, and he's the only boy. He's the boss of everybody. And now I think that children are the most precious thing on the planet. Of course, I think my grandchildren are the most beautiful children on the planet. But I have this love and this protective impulse toward keeping children safe and loving all the fun stuff that they do, and just being around children and how they are always in their moment. Whatever they're feeling, you know how they're feeling right now. You know what they think right now, and they don't have that filter and all of that conditioning that we give them as they get older. So I guess in the global village of mankind, I have learned to love the value of the innocence of children. Thank you.
As a new, relatively new grandma, I totally appreciate your answer, Carrie. I've got a 2.5-year-old granddaughter and a grandson on the way any day. And I definitely agree with you. You're so blessed to be able to have your grandchildren living with you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Carrie.
You're
So
welcome.
I guess that's it for table topics for tonight. I'll stop sharing my screen and turn the mic back over to our wonderful, phenomenal Madam Toastmaster, DeMarie. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We do have to give Lisa a round of applause because she was able to take her love wheel and turn it into the global village of mankind. Excellent way that you turn all those questions back into the theme for today's meeting. That was very ingenious. Thank you so much for that. I want to thank everyone that participated as well in the responses to the table topics questions. The next thing on our agenda is to turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, and that is Cassandra Garabedian. Cassandra?
Thank you, Toastmaster DeMarie. And now it comes to this portion of the time where we will ask our, comes to the time for our general evaluation. And now I'm going to ask our timer to explain the timing colors for evaluators.
Great. Awesome. It's my pleasure to explain the timing colors. Our first evaluator is Dee Marie, and she will have 2 minutes. She'll get the green, and 2.5 minutes she'll get the yellow, and 3 minutes she'll get the red, and she'll have 30 seconds to wrap up. And Carrie Kelly will be our second evaluator, and she will get the same. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Okay, so now may I ask for evaluator number 1 to give their evaluation, please.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. I am taking great pleasure in evaluating Carrie Kelly. Carrie, when I saw the title of your speech, Martin Who, of course, I wondered where you were going with that. Had no idea, of course. But then you said you wanted to dispel the myth and end the misuse of how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s memory is being used. That some people are using it in a nefarious way because they're attaching his memory to the activities that they themselves are guilty of. And you said a jailbird. And every time he went to jail, it was by design. That was part of the nonviolent movement that they had. So I understood that perfectly. You said that his I Have a Dream speech, you had not listened to it in totality until you decided to do the speech tonight. And then you listened to the entire I Have a Dream speech. And it is an eye-opener when you do that. There was also his letter from a Birmingham jail. You talked about that as well. You brought back a number of memories for me because I have researched all of these things, so I was right there with you and knew where you were headed. But Carrie, you gave us a deeper understanding of Dr. Martin Luther King. Martin who? When I hear that word now, I'll always think of it differently. You talked about the extensive training that they go through or went through when they were being trained to be nonviolent, because you had to be aware of some of the tactics and some of the ways that you would be approached, and you would have to approach those and respond in a nonviolent way. If someone spat on you, if someone threw something at you, cursed at you, you were not to respond at all. You were actually supposed to ignore it. And that kind of training obviously took much practice in order to pull it off. You also enlightened me with the fact that Ronald Reagan signed the Dr. Martin Luther King holiday into law, but with the stipulation that he would control the narrative that would go out about Dr. King. That was eye-opening. If I had to offer any stretch goals for you, and I'm having to stretch to find something to offer, I would say that possibly vocal variety would be something that I would look at, and a call to action. You did that at the end, of course. You gave us a call to action. What I'm trying to say is to engage the audience more with more questions. Did you know? I think you could use did you know in a number of different places, or think about this, because you want the audience to really follow what you're saying. Other than that, I loved your presentation, and it was certainly a very different way to look at Dr. Martin Luther King. Thank you, Carrie.
And now, for our second evaluator. Carrie, would you like to evaluate her? Did you write down notes? Would you like to
Yes, I
evaluate her?
did.
Okay. Okay,
Yes,
sounds great.
I'm ready.
Take it away.
Okay. So, Dee Marie, my turn to evaluate your speech. I was very enlightened by all of the information that you had about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I loved all of the resources and suggestions that you gave us about managing our feelings of being excluded or feeling left out, left alone, and finding ourselves dealing and battling with despair and depression. I love that you gave us suggestions, meditation, going for a walk, affirmations, like all the ways that you can have to combat those feelings of negativity. And you gave us a resource, 988, that is a universal or nationwide resource for us to be able to call to get some help. And you gave us information about how to stay connected to other people and reach out and find ways to be included. I really appreciated all those resources and all of those suggestions. And what I really loved, and this is like amazing to me, how you made that work for the Toastmaster core values, the 4 core values, and how managing to feel included would wrap around the 4 values of the Toastmasters: integrity, service, excellence, and what's the other one? There's 4. I can think of 3. What am I missing?
Respect.
Respect. Yes. Okay. One of the most important ones, right? And like having those for yourself is the beginning of the ability to have it for other people. So I really love that. If I was going to give you a stretch goal, it would definitely be some more. Well, you had a lot of vocal variety in the beginning when you were like trying to get the taxi to stop and all that. I would like to see more of that throughout the rest of the speech. Other than that, you did a great job, and I loved your suggestions and resources. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And now, let's see here. Where are we here? Grammarian, can you give us your report?
Thank you. Yes, my goodness, what a wonderful full day of all the aspects and directions of inclusive. I have to say that Dee Marie could set a lesson. I think she's done about 12 and perhaps more, but I could hardly keep up. But I love every single week that she picks out that new word. She uses at least 5 of them and then writes them all down so she can list 20 of them at the same time. I think that's very resourceful, delightful, and inclusive of how important those words are. And I loved also the integrity of the heart thought. I thought that was marvelous. And there's so many notes I have here that this was a very, very lively discussion, inclusive and resilient. And thank you so much. You have enlivened words to make them more impactful. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful report, Sally. And now for our timer. Cynthia, can you give us your timing report, please?
Absolutely, Madam General Evaluator. Our first speaker, Carrie Kelly, spoke for 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Our second speaker, Dee Marie Shai King, spoke for 7 minutes and 21 seconds. And then we had 4 table topics. Our table topics today was very inclusive. Mohini from India, she spoke for 2 minutes and 37 seconds, so just slightly over time. And Ravinder, also from India, spoke for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And Sally from Berkeley, California, USA, she spoke for 1 minute 47 seconds. And Carrie Kelly from Silicon Valley, USA, Sunnyvale, USA, spoke for 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And for our evaluators, Dee Marie spoke for 3 minutes and 7 seconds, and Carrie Kelly spoke for 2 minutes and 48 seconds. That's my report, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for that report. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Sorry about that. So it threw me
So
off
much.
with that report.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. I thank you for calling on your functionaries. And I'm going to turn this right back to you and ask you to give us your general evaluation of the entire meeting.
Okay. Wow. We started on time, and we had our roles filled, although we did not have everyone to come in. We managed, as we always do. People stepped in, fulfilled roles, and that's what we're all about. Coming together. An inclusive type of thing. People came up, they stood up. Why? Because they know what we need to do and they love Toastmasters. And just take a look around. Very inclusive. We have people from India. We have people, United States, but we're all from all over the place. And it comes together. So I'd like to thank everyone for pitching in and making this thing work. Now, for what's happening here, just think about it. Think about the topic. Think about the theme. Think about love. Look what Lisa did. Lisa had something that happened with Valentine's Day. However, with the theme, she brought it all together. And she made our theme work with what she had happened, a week or so ago? But think about what love means. Love transcends all boundaries. If people would just let it happen. And the word I am, the phrase I am, no one can say that for you. You have to say it. No one can say I am for you. You have to say I am. I am what? What are you? I am. You finish the phrase. And whatever you say after that will come to pass. So be careful with your words. They're magic. They're that sprinkle, that little fairy dust. Okay, so with your affirmations, just think about it. And resilience. My people are resilient. Just think about what we have gone through. We wouldn't be here if we weren't resilient. And I just love the speeches that were told here tonight and the table topics. The first lady that spoke in table topics, she hit it on the nose. She spoke about everything about love, about it starts at home. It starts at home, and then it, like if you throw a pebble into a pond and you see that rippling effect that goes outward, that's what she was talking about. It starts at home. And then it goes outward. Whatever you spew out into the world, that's what happens. So I love what she was saying. And the gentleman in Table Topics that spoke about his wife. It starts again with your relationship, what you have in a relationship. And the same thing, a relationship, whether it's in the workplace, whether Dee Marie was talking about the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It starts again in the mind and how you treat people. And it's a type of thing where whatever you spew out, it will come back to you. So this has been a meeting and a topic that it just warms my heart to know that if people can understand this, you are your brother's keeper. You're not isolated. And it's so funny to me that people in gated communities, you don't do everything behind that gated community. You have to go outside and remember that you are a part of this world. You're not just behind your gate, your home, that you're a part of this world. And that's part of why I like Leaders Worldwide, because we include everyone. We just need to just keep reminding ourselves of that and just be a part of the solution and not the problem. Thank you. Back to you.
That was a heartfelt evaluation, Cassandra. And at this time, I will turn the meeting back over to our founding president, Cynthia Stott.
Thank you, Dee Marie. That was amazing, amazing meeting. And I'd like to talk with our guests and see if we have any guests who would like to share. What did you think of our meeting? Mohini, would you like to share with us?
Yes, thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting. I found it a little different. It went with the theme of inclusivity of mankind, which was very thought-provoking and a very expansive thought, not confining one to the limits of our mind or our small thinking. We don't just think of, it makes me think not of just the child or the person outside my door or outside my gate. Now it makes me think of the person across the globe in some other different continent, some other different space. So it's made me grow actually and be more expansive and more inclusive. Thank you for allowing me to attend your meeting. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Wonderful, Mohini. And we have a tradition here, at least I do, of giving away treats, virtual treats, with your sharing. So would you like any chocolate or fruits or dessert or a special drink virtually?
A chocolate, yes, please. I'd love one.
I have some Belgian dark chocolate here. Would you like some of that?
Yeah, I love dark chocolate, yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Wow, thank you so much.
Enjoy. No calories, no sugar, no guilt. And Ravindra, would you like to share what your experience was here at Leaders Worldwide?
Yes, Cynthia. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So it's always pleasure to be here. I missed the first speech, I think, categorically, but when the Dee Marie started speaking, I was there. So it's always pleasure to hear her speeches because I was there for quite a couple of meetings. So it's always great to hear all these speeches and especially for the table topics. So Lisa came up instantly and she gave us the nice table topics. So it's always good to be here and there's a lot of learnings. Thank you and over to you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Ravindra. And would you like a treat? Chocolate, fruit, anything at all?
Yeah, so fruits I like to have maybe them now.
A fruit. You know, I found a prickly pear, a cactus prickly pear, and I wanted to try it. Would you like to try one?
A prickly pear.
Yes,
They're
yes,
made
please.
in the desert. And I have some mango too as well. Would you like some of that?
Yes, I love mangoes.
Okay. Okay, I will give you some mangoes and prickly pear cactus. Here you go. 1, 2, 3, whoosh. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Nadine stepped away, but Lisa, would you like to share your experience from today? Maybe she's from hers too. And Alex,
I'm
I
here.
know you didn't want to
Cynthia, I'm
speak
here.
because of your throat. Oh, Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not a
Would you like to
guest.
share your experience from today?
Yeah, it was a pleasure
I
doing
know, but we can
being at
have.
the, okay, it was a pleasure being at your meeting. And thank you so much for letting me take the role of table topics. We're doing a table topics 3-part training for your district starting on Thursday night, the 22nd. That's this Thursday. It'll be 6 o'clock your time, 9 o'clock my time. And I'm looking forward to being part of this 3-part training. And the first night will be about how to craft responses. And the second part, which will be the following Tuesday, the 27th, is about how to form good questions and the kinds of questions and the different information we're looking for in varied questions. And then the third part, which is the following week on Wednesday, the 6th, will be all about the different styles. So for example, tonight I used a wheel, and WorldWide.net has all kinds of different styles. There's also things you can do with role playing and improv and props and just wonderful styles that makes the meeting fun in this club as well as other clubs throughout your district. And I hope that you plan on joining us. It's absolutely free. It's 3 hours and it will be recorded and put into your resource library. So thank you again for letting me be part of your meeting tonight. And I look forward to coming back again. Thank you.
Awesome, Lisa. And you are our newest member. You just
Well,
joined
I've
about
been
a
here since
month ago.
December 1st. I still don't get the club emails. I'm still not getting my levels approved, but I am here. Thank you for having me.
Great. And would you like a treat? A virtual treat?
Sure, I love dark chocolate with nuts and caramel.
Ooh, with nuts and caramel. How about some
Kind of
Belgian dark
like
chocolate?
pecan turtles or really like from Seas. I don't know if you guys know Seas in LA. I don't know if that comes
Yes,
up to
we
San
have
Francisco, but
Seas
that's like one
originated
of my
here.
favorites. So I'm
Yeah,
ready
it's
to.
headquartered here in South San Francisco, Seas is.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah,
I
I
have
love
a
that place.
box of Seas candies, turtles, right here
I
with
can give
dark
you my address
chocolate
when we're
and
offline. Thank you.
caramel and pecans.
Thank you so much.
1, 2, 3, whoosh! Enjoy!
Thank you. Thank you. So much.
Awesome, awesome. And Alex, would you like to share your
Yeah,
experience?
I mean, I think I can muster up something. You know, you make me mad, Dee Marie, because you're so awesome with the with your speeches. I'm so glad you weren't in the speech contest. That's all I'm saying. I learn every time I learn something from you guys, especially Carrie and especially Dee Marie, and it's just always it's always nice to see great speeches. So I'm good. Lozenges.
Yes, yes. Awesome, Alex. And we hope you get well soon. And Alex is our Leaders Worldwide champion for the International Speech Contest, and he will be competing in Carrie's area contest, D30, on March 14th at 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you hope you can join us then.
He said he wanted a lozenge,
No, I'm telling you right now, it's not as
Cynthia,
bad as making it out
not
to be.
candy, okay?
I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you,
a lozenge.
my
Oh,
my daughter, we're still trying to find her voice in the house because she kind of lost it, and I started getting a little raspy. So sorry, I messed up the schedule. So next time.
well, I definitely have some lozenges here for you. I have an On Guard lozenge that is really good for your immune system and will perk you up and help you feel better soon.
And
Okay.
I just thought of the medicine we were talking about earlier. I've got a loratadine for you.
Ratadine.
I'm gonna be
Loratadine.
so well. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
So I'm gonna throw a tiny little loratadine right at you, Alex, and I hope that it helps your cough.
I'm gonna need whiskey after all this. Jeez.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to the role plays at the end so that
Yep. Let me
I
just
have another meeting I have to go to?
Okay. And let me just give you some On Guard lozenges for your throat. 1, 2, 3, whoosh. Enjoy. Thank you very much.